Hello, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Sekani, a podcast for people in their 20s who are trying to figure out life and not get lost along the way. Today's guest is Karlesha V. Hewitt, an attorney, financial literacy educator, and founder of WisdomChild Consulting. Karlesha is on a mission to help people build lasting financial stability through practical education and real life application. Her philosophy is simple but powerful. Get wisdom that cannot be taken. Despite a successful career in law and public service, she found herself nearly $60,000 in debt. And what changed everything wasn't any more money, but learning how money actually works. Within 2 years, she paid off that debt and now teaches others how to do the same through our Money Talks Academy. Today, we are talking about money, mindsets, and how to build real financial freedom, especially for people in their 20s. Kalisha, welcome to Conversations with Sekani. It's a pleasure to have you here.
It is a pleasure to be here. I'm so grateful for the opportunity. Thank you, Sakai.
All right. Okay. So I want us to dive, a little bit into your 20s, right? So in your 20s, what did you believe about money and where did those beliefs come from?
So, in my 20s, the problem, I guess, is that I didn't think much about money.
Mm.
I just knew I
Wow.
wanted it, right?
Right.
So, the problem came where society, my community, my family, right, taught me your job is to go to school, get a
Mm.
salary, make money. That's it. That's where
Mm.
my lesson
Right.
ended. And so, what I came to learn about money really came from what my parents modeled to me, more so than what they
Mm.
taught me with their mouth. And what they modeled to me was that mature adults pay their bills on time, right? How
Mm.
did I know that? Because they would nag and argue about paying the bills on time, right? So what I came to learn in my 20s was okay, being responsible with money means paying your bills on time. So what did that look like for me? I accumulated a bunch of debt, but I had an
Mm.
excellent credit score because I paid the minimum payments. I was paying my bills on time. But that was the
Mm.
furthest thing from wealth building and
Mm.
opportunities to grow wealth. I just didn't know it. And I'll stop there.
Mm.
But that's what was happening inside of me in my 20s.
Right. It's funny how what you just described is actually what a whole lot of people are doing now. That's what we believe is, money. That's what we think is the best way to handle money, and it's a good way to, become financially stable. But I think reverse is the case, right?
Come
So
on.
yeah,
There's more to
you
this
know.
thing.
Right. So looking back, right, what was one financial mistake you made early on that, many people can actually relate to?
Not paying attention.
Hmm.
I think what happens is, for me, for instance, I don't come from money. I don't come from a wealthy family. So every
Hmm.
dollar that I've been able to achieve by God's grace alone, but really, obviously through hard work also,
Right.
it came by my own hand, so to speak. I had to go get
Hmm.
it. I had to go eat what I kill, right? And so a mistake that I made was I spent a lot of time focusing on making money and not a lot of time focusing on what do you do with it once you have it. For instance,
Hmm.
you can give money, you can be generous, you can save money, you can spend money, you can invest money. I didn't really spend a lot
Hmm.
of time focusing on the plan for the money. And so a lot of, I
Right.
would say millions of dollars went through my hands, right? Those first
Hmm.
couple of years of my career over the course of a year, you got to think if you're making 60 to 100K a year over 10 years, that's over $1 million. Where did it go? Right? And so a big mistake that
Right.
I made was a lack of stewardship and paying
Hmm.
attention to what do you do with this money, not just making it, trying to keep it, trying to grow it.
Wow. Okay. So it's a different thing when you try to make money. It's another thing to try and keep money, and then another thing to try and, grow your money.
Come on.
Right. Hmm.
Different
Okay. Now we're
strategies,
gonna,
right?
right. So we're gonna dive into that actually. So yes, let's talk about, the reality of debt and financial awareness. So what was the moment you realized that you needed to take control of your finances?
So it's funny, I was not looking to get better with money at the time that
Mm,
God really allowed me to have this
mm.
epiphany that I've been doing this wrong, right? What
Right.
happened was podcasting, ironically, we're on a podcast, but back in the early 2018, that time
Mm,
period,
right.
podcasting were just getting normal and more popular. So I was just asking my friends one day, hey girl, what are you listening to, right? And she told me about a financial educational podcast. So I started to listen to it, and immediately light bulbs going off. And you'll see in my business branding, I have a light bulb, right? With
Mm,
cracked pieces put together, right? And
right.
it's wisdom, right? Wisdom Child Consulting. But what happened to me was when I listened to callers calling into this financial professional and he was giving them feedback on how to handle their individual circumstances, I
Mm,
realized very quickly I make more money than some of these people, or I don't make as
mm,
much as these people, but we're struggling with the same things and I'm committing the
mm,
same financial illiteracy mistakes.
mm.
And then I heard his answers and I said, nobody ever taught me that. You could do that with money. What? So
Wow.
immediately I started going to this person's their website. I started listening to the podcast on a regular basis. And lo and behold, because I exposed myself to new information, it
Mm,
changed the way that I thought about money, right? I had to
mm,
unlearn bad habits, relearn and apply new habits. And when I
mm,
did that, it changed everything. So to answer your question more succinctly, the main thing that put me over the edge was exposure to wisdom,
mm,
new information, and application, because it's a two
mm.
part, right? It's a two part. You can't
Yeah.
know it and not do it. You got to do something with what you know. But that's another conversation.
Right. Wow. Okay. I must say I'm already learning, right?
Good.
I
I'm
think
so glad.
right.
Keep
I have
moving.
to start jotting down at this point. So yes, you were able to pay off your loan, right? Not many people are able to do that. And you paid off almost $60,000 in 2 years.
Mhm.
So that's no small feat, I'm gonna say. But what were the key strategies that made it possible?
I had to, and I think I referenced this earlier, right? In my
Mm,
unlearning and relearning, that meant
right.
that I had to start making some new types of decisions, right? I couldn't
Mm,
do the same old thing I used to do. So, where I would spend time hanging out, or maybe I would spend time watching Netflix, I picked up a
mm,
second job, a third job, right? So, don't get it confused. I was an attorney, but I was a new attorney and I was an government attorney. I wasn't making
mm.
so much money like some other attorneys make, right? So
Right.
what happening is in order to get more income to pay off the debt faster, I had to go get some other jobs. So I
Mm,
find myself doing things that I was interested in that I could get paid for. I'm an English professional writing minor. I have a minor in English. I started doing
mm,
freelance editing short stories, essays, novels, helping people with resumes. I
mm,
started doing DoorDash. A lot of people don't know that. So I did DoorDash for about a year. My mother and my boyfriend were the only humans on earth who knew that this attorney in the city of Manhattan attorney that I was doing DoorDash, because I
mm,
wanted to pay this debt off very quickly and I didn't have time to play with my time. And so a
mm,
big part of how I got out of this mess was refocusing my time on money making and quick
mm,
money making to use it towards debt specifically, not towards a vacation, not to look like I had it
mm.
together, but to actually get myself together.
Wow. Right. Okay. So it's about, trying to get money to pay off the debt first of all. And then I like that you mentioned not to go on vacation.
Come
Oh
on,
my.
because you can make extra money and blow it,
Right,
or you can let it
exactly.
work for you.
You see, those luxury of life is what I think my generation is struggling with, right? We make
Mhm.
money not to pay off debt, but to actually blow it on luxurious things, to buy clothes, shoes,
Sakani, can I
wigs.
say something about that real quick?
Definitely.
Here's what I want to say about that real quick, right?
Right.
In your generation, let's say you don't have debt, because I have a lot of students who don't have debt yet, which is great. It's a
Mm,
prime opportunity. So now every
mm,
dollar you touch, you should be strategizing, how do I save this and how do I invest it to grow it?
mm,
Not accumulating debt. Don't focus on getting a credit card, swiping card, getting out a loan, borrowing from family. No, how can I save this in such a way that it makes some interest, and how can I
mm,
begin to invest it? Right? And that's a
mm,
game changer,
mm.
especially when you're young, because of a thing called compound interest, when your money makes
Right.
money. And I'll be brief with that. But you
Mm,
guys have it the best because you're young, right? So you have time on
right.
your side. So you want to use your time wisely when it comes to your
Mm,
finances, not frivolously.
wow. Okay. So it's how can I save it and also how can I invest? right?
Yeah.
That there's
Right.
this word they say, let your money make money for you,
Come
right?
on. Compound interest, right? What else is there to do
Exactly.
with money? Your money should
Exactly
be
right.
working.
Okay, so yes, now realistically speaking, what you said is very possible, but not many people are used to it. It's going to be like an
Right.
hassle for some people, right? So what habits do you think they should, start building early to, be able to make core financial decisions, good ones, by the way, right?
So again, in my business, Wisdom Child Consulting, I have Money Talks
Mm,
Academy, right? The goal is
right.
to introduce people to new ideas about money, a new
Mm,
self-image about money. The main thing that I would tell people to do to get more equipped in this area is to begin
mm,
to expose yourself to the free information that's out there,
mm,
and then invest in yourself by paying to learn more, right? I have a
right.
cohort you have to pay to join, right? However, it's gonna, I like to say this, right? If you have $20,000 worth of debt and you pay $200 to join a cohort, that
Mm,
cohort is really worth 20,000 because it's going to
right.
give you the wisdom you need to get out of that debt, right?
Mm,
So if you don't want to ever spend a dollar, you can go on Amazon. Well, I won't say that. Amazon, you got to pay a dollar,
mm,
right? But you can go on
right.
YouTube. I like to call it YouTube University and begin to focus on, okay, financial literacy. Let me learn something new. Let me curate my social media page so that I'm only seeing people who are posting information I don't know. Become a professional learner and get the wisdom. And then if you need coaching, you need someone to hold you accountable, to walk alongside you, I'm here, right? Money Talks
Right.
Academy. But even if not me, when I tell you there's a big world out there of people teaching the right thing, we're just not watching or we're not doing.
Mm,
And that's the thing I'm trying to shift as well, giving people the opportunity to be exposed to where to go and to learn what to do.
exactly right. Okay. So, this just reminded me of a guest I spoke with, right? That's also a financial advisor. She said she understands that it's not easy to save, right? And when she says
Right.
save, you could be making let's say $40 per hour, right? You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to save the whole $40,
Right.
right? You can just, I mean, keep 50% personal use just to pay off some loans, and
Mm-hmm.
50%, another 50 or 30 could go into savings. Then the remaining 20 could be what you use to, sort out some things, right? But just make sure that you inculcate that habit of saving. No matter how little it is, try saving. If you have debts, try paying up your debts also,
That's
right?
right.
But you don't have to save up everything so you
That's
don't feel
right.
like you're stuck,
I
right?
want to
So
say
yes,
something, right?
right,
It's
right.
one good decision at a time. There's a
Mm,
saying that we have. It says, how do you eat an elephant? One bite
mm,
at a time.
good time.
That's it. It's just little by little, right? The problem is sometimes because we're watching these TV shows and we listen to these people, they make it seem like it's, if it's not happening like that, we're doing it wrong. That's a lie,
Mm,
right? Just
right.
debunk that myth right now. The truth is, if I am in debt or if I don't know anything about financial literacy and I begin to
Mm,
save $5 every time I get paid. So every time money comes to me, I dedicate $5 to my future. I'll make
mm,
progress. It'll be a little bit of
right.
progress, but five becomes 10, becomes 17, becomes
Mm,
20, because interest, right? I made it 17 instead of the doubling, right? But you get my point. When you save
right.
and you put it in a place that it's going to grow in interest, you're bound to grow over time.
Mm,
So, what I like to tell people is it's patience, it's discipline, it's consistency. You need those things to become financially wealthy over time, right? And I'm not where I want to be
mm,
yet, but I'm on my way because of
right.
faithfulness, right? Patience,
Mm,
consistency, and just that regular showing up into these goals that you're set for yourself.
mm. All right. It's about patience, like you said,
Mhm.
consistency, and always showing up. Yeah.
That's it. Discipline, keep going.
Discipline,
Mhm.
exactly. Wow. Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, Kalisha, I must say. And you've mentioned Money Talks Academy, right? So I need you to actually tell us more about Money Talks Academy and how can it, help us stay accountable and grow, right?
So right now there's a cohort that is it's
Mm.
$250 US dollars. It's
Wow.
$175 right now on sale until May 10th. And what is it? It's the
Mm.
Money Talks Academy cohort. It's going to be 4 hours spread out across a month, the month of June 2026, where we're going to meet for 1 hour on two Saturdays and 1 hour on two Thursday
Mm.
nights. And that's going to be a time where we're really coming together to address what's on fire. I like to say it this way: it's learning in community, it's positive peer pressure, right? Because a lot of
Mm.
the financial decisions we make is to impress the people out there, right? This is
Right.
going to be a hub of community where we're going to come together to learn from one another's mistakes and then really to put feet to our plan, not just to think about the strategies like how you and me are talking right now, but no, now
Right.
what do you do about it? And oh, by the way, I'm going to see you next week, so I'm going to hold you accountable. You're going to have
Exactly.
homework. You're going to have a responsibility to prove it to yourself, but also to help the
Mm.
group to grow. This is how I'm going to get out of debt. This is how I'm going to build wealth. This is how I'm going to begin to save, to utilize, strategies, certain apps to help me stay organized, right? So this is going to be an
Mm.
opportunity to have education by application, by doing the things, not just speaking or
Mm.
reading about the things, right? So if
Right.
anybody wanted to sign up and lock into that, the link is in my bio on my Instagram at Wisdom Child Consulting, right? And also it's on Eventbrite. If you Google it, Money Talks Cohort Wisdom Child Consulting. But really, you can find it fastest through my Instagram. Outside of that, just so the people know a little bit more, Money Talks Academy
Mm.
also exists in person. I host
Mm.
actual courses, workshops. I have games, we have breakout groups, and I do that for children, for teenagers, and for adults. And I also do budgeting sessions one on one with individuals. So, a lot of different ways to learn how to get good with your own money, right?
Mm.
But if nothing else, begin to Google and figure out what information am I missing. We never know what we
Mm.
don't know until we start looking.
Exactly. Wow. That's the keyword right there. You never know what you don't know until you start looking
Come on,
right. And
Angelica.
yes, and I want to say this to the listeners, right? Money isn't just about numbers, it's about knowledge, discipline, and the decisions we make every day. So if you want to take control of your finances and learn in a supportive environment and community, if you want to belong to a very good community that would help you stay grounded and focused, I think you should check out Money Talks Academy so you can stay connected with Karlesha through her platforms, right? So yes, thank you so much, Karlesha. And finally, right, I just want you to talk to someone out there, specifically young adults, because that's the focus of my podcast, right?
Mhm.
So if someone in their 20s wants to build a strong financial future, but they feel behind, what is the first step they should take today?
Start.
Hmm.
That's the big word. Now I'm going to give you some
Right.
break offs. Start. Don't
That.
wait for circumstances to change before you start.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm a first generation Jamaican American. My parents are immigrants who came to this country. I'm the first, one of the first born in this country. And so that means I didn't come from a lot of resource, right? So what did I have to do? I had to start. Start by doing
Hmm.
something different. Don't wait for circumstances to change. If you don't have a bank account and you're in your 20s, open up a bank account. What kind of
Hmm.
bank account? An interest bearing bank account that's going to pay you to hold your money. If you have a bank account and you have savings, begin to invest. Little by little makes much, right? So start to
Right.
invest. Visit a brokerage account online, a Fidelity, a Charles Schwab, some other ones are out there, right? But figure out
Hmm.
which brokerage account you want to start investing in and invest. Learn the basics of investing, of course, right? Diversification, time horizon, what is your risk tolerance? Those are keywords. I can't unpack it right now, right? But Google them. Look into these things, right? But just start. Sometimes starting doesn't even have to be the practical things, like I just said. Sometimes starting is listening to Sekani's podcast to begin to learn new information. Sometimes starting is let me go to at Wisdom Child Consulting on Instagram and see what Karlesha's posting about. What is this Money Talks cohort? You know what I mean? It's engaging in new information. I'm big on the wisdom of it. That's why I say giving you wisdom that can't be taken. Because when you get new knowledge, it changes your bloodline, it changes your legacy, it changes everything. And guess what? No government, no person, no oppressor, nothing can take it away from you except for you and your inability to start. So start.
Wow, right. Start. That's the key word right there. And
Yeah.
honestly, Karlesha, I must say thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Informations like this, they are out there, right? But not many people have access to it. And I feel like it's so powerful that I think people should even pay for it. But you're
Yeah,
doing
absolutely.
right. You're doing a good work, I must say. I do commend you and thank you for, agreeing to come on my podcast and share some of your wisdom and knowledge with us. It is a
Thank you.
pleasure. Right.
Thank you so
Okay.
much for your boldness to share information. My
Wow.
goodness, sometimes a lot of what goes wrong in societies is the inaccessibility of information. And
Mm,
so because you're bold enough to have a podcast, you're giving people in your arena and my arena access to information that will change their lives. So
mhm.
thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
Keep
Thank you
on
so much,
going.
Kalita.
Keep going, girl.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Yes. So I want us to, move to the final segment. It's called the rapid fire segment.
Ooh, I like
Right.
this. Fun.
Okay. All right. So starting now, would you prefer to save or invest?
Invest.
Okay. Okay. So budget or freedom?
Budget is freedom.
All right. Okay. So what is one daily money habit?
Look at your budget.
Okay.
Pay
All
attention.
right. Right. So what is one money myth you'd break?
That credit card money is your money. It's not. It's loaned money. And so, unless you can
Hmm.
manage your own money, you probably shouldn't have a credit card just yet.
Right, definitely. And finally, what is the best age to start building wealth?
Oh my gosh, as early as you can. If you start talking and you're getting a birthday
Right.
money, you're getting a card with birthday money at 5 years old, start investing. Ask your parents to open up a custodial account and start investing as early as
Ex-
possible, the better.
Exactly. The earlier, the better.
Come
Yes.
on.
So, thank you so much, Kalisha. And yeah, where can listeners get to, learn more about you and connect with you?
You can Google Wisdom Child, one word,
Mhm.
consulting. You can go to at Wisdom Child Consulting on Instagram. And also my
Mm,
personal Instagram, the letter K speaks life, right? I'm a minister of the
mm.
gospel of Jesus Christ. And so I also do poetry and a lot of other things on my personal page. So you can check me
Right.
out there as well. But for financial literacy education, Wisdom Child Consulting, Money Talks cohort, the link will be in the bio. I hope to see some of you there. And you tell me how you met me, by the way.
Uh, okay. All right. Personally, I'm checking out your Instagram.
Thank
I
you. And
have
I'm
to
checking out
follow.
yours too.
Oh, thank you. All right, thank you, Kalisha. This has been amazing. And yes, this will be to my listeners. Thanks for tuning in to Conversations with Sekani. If this episode sparked something in you, just as it did in me, make sure to share to someone who you think might need this. And also subscribe so you don't miss out on new episodes. Once again, thank you so much, Kalisha, and do have a beautiful day ahead of you.
You too. Blessings to you, Sekani. Thank you again.
Right. Thank